Period, right.
But ain't nobody doing no fracking, so they can't blame it on fracking.
You said they're not?
Nobody's fracking, no.
What? Well, some things I already set in motion, you know. It just takes a while for it to, you know. What is it? You got oil in there, and you pull that oil out of there, there's a gap there.
Don't you replace it with water? It's like when we pull the water and the oil off, you have to put that same fluid. You can't take it from another reservoir. You got to put the same fluid you take from that reservoir and put it back into the ground.
Yeah, but they didn't do that for years.
Yeah, but water and oil is totally different.
Well, we talking about pressure differential. That's all we talking about.
They didn't do that for years. They kind of stuff. And
Oh,
they was on,
you said they took the water off from most of the reservoir and leave it dry like that. That's what you saying?
yeah, the oil.
Yeah. Okay, the oil.
Yeah.
You know,
You have a cavity of oil
I
and
think you're
you
right.
all those things there, you pull it out, that cavity is open there. And people say, well, this and all that there, but there's a reason why they did that. They didn't do that. They did that to the food stuff to squeeze all every bit of the oil out.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Like, you know, people they come and say this and that, but yeah, just think about it for, you know, and to me it makes sense. And I've been in the business, all business for 25 years. And so I know, we're still discovering and finding out stuff. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So do they, to me, I'm just thinking, do they have to put a solution that just like oil back in there?
No.
So it won't, close the gap?
No, they just put the water back in there. Back in the water. It goes to separated. The oil goes in one tank, the water goes back, and it goes back into the reservoir in which it came from.
Mm.
But you still got a gap, like you said, because you took the oil out, you still have a gap of oil.
If you're good enough, man, you won't hit no oil. You won't hit no water.
Right.
You just go.
It gets pure oil.
It depends on how well you read the seismic data and stuff. And that's why we had our new instruments that we were going out and looking at under the ground. Well, our instruments, I have designed some instruments to do that there. And hey, you know what a drill at? It was called successful drill. You know, you miss the water stuff.
Yeah, before technology, Oklahoma been peppered with a lot of wells. They ain't hit nothing but oil, but water.
I know, that's what I'm talking
everywhere.
about. They didn't know what they were doing.
Thousands of wells here in Oklahoma.
A lot of stuff that they done, and that's why I'm saying, I'm surprised about that. These things been over the years.
Yeah.
Tulsa was all capital of the world at one time.
Yeah.
They had wells and stuff around
everywhere.
Support and all around the area. So, we still reap some of the benefits of those things there. But nevertheless, it says here, the earthquake and rain fell from the sky at the presence of God. Even Sinai shook at the presence of God, the God of Israel. So it depends on what presence you're talking about. See, if God was to come down in the full without any covering, the earth could not stand it. And why? You never thought about that, why it couldn't? For simple reason. God had to curse the earth for us. God cursed the ground for us. Until he removed that curse. See? It can't fully withstand his holiness. So everything has to to be temporary in them, and to be taken care of until finally, you're gonna get it just like you had it before. And he could do those things that when he first made it. Therefore, sin is a terrible thing, man. Sin just messed up things for everybody. You mess it up for God.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of funny, don't it?
Well, because, you know, we know if you would come down like he did during Adam before he fell, he would destroy the whole world.
That's what I said. So he messed it up for God too. So not only did he mess up man, but sin messed it all up, messed it up for God too. Because he limited God for what he could, his reaction that he could have with his people. But he ain't gonna tolerate that forever. And we want to be on that end, on that glorious end. But understanding those things there, so you gotta understand what that means. Go to Isaiah 43. Because that eye syndrome, and that's why I keep telling you about, you gotta be careful about that eye syndrome, because that eye syndrome get in there. You know? And that's got to be even way before us. It gets in there with our children. You trying to tell them something, but watch it. When they start, when kids start getting that eye syndrome, what generally happens? They get rebellious.
They get a whooping, she said.
No, I'm talking with them. What is happening with them? They get rebellious.
They get rebellious.
They don't want to hear what you gotta say. I was talking to a young lady yesterday. I went to the doctor there, and she was saying that she's a young lady herself there. When she was talking about her children, she was talking about some of them. They got their own mind, and young too. See, y'all just don't understand us. I said, well, I'm 73 years old, and I said that same thing about my parents. I said, so that ain't something new, but they think it seems to be a new thing that they use.
To them, yeah.
Yeah. Right. I said that same thing. She just don't understand. We young folks, we got I got a different idea of things. And I did. That I was in there. Took me a while to learn that I was wrong too. I thought it was right. Why I gotta be very careful about following along with generation of things. Because they just as stupid as you is. But we think they're real smart, and they're all stupid just like what I was. Therefore, he said, hear what he said, you are my witness, says Adonai. Somehow, somewhere, they got the idea that they wasn't. And I'll tell you where they got it from. They got it from their own folks. They got it from their own self, and their own ideas, and their own thoughts. And my servant whom I have chosen, so that you can know and trust me. Who are we trusting in?
Yep.
You trusting in somebody else. You trusting in some other something. I ain't got to go there and do that. I ain't got to go out there and do that. I can serve God anywhere I want to and what I want. That sounds real nice. That sounds real good. It sounds nice. But one of the hills, you just don't get it done. You just don't get it done. You don't. Can you just serve God anywhere you want to be at? I can be out on the dance floor, slavery guy. I can be chilling out with a, you know.
My homies.
I can be looking within myself, you know, never, you know. Check out my body, sipping on rich, you know. Just melting out, you know, just, they got all kind of with it. Therefore, can't do that. You can fool yourself. Just like God told our forefathers, you can eat of every tree out here except one. Devil got her convinced now.
So they believed that at first, until the enemy came along.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. They was all right to them. And that's the same thing in the blood. Whatever covenant.
Yeah.
Whenever he first started coming talking that stuff, they should have acquired a covenant. Eventually, that bad covenant won over. And growing up and everything, I remember the same thing. When I went to the same wrong covenant, got in trouble. You don't want to blame me, you want to be like everybody else. You don't want to be out there by yourself out there, you know.
like what I tell you, I was over my friend's house, you know, talking to him about the Sabbath. So, ain't nothing wrong with that. So the friend got to, you know, go ride with him. I guess he was still talking to him.
Yeah. I go out Friday night, you know, I know we go to the film, I play cards, do everything out there, and get the next 5 minutes or something. Say something about God, so when somebody come here, and say, hey, look, how about the Bible? How you know we weren't talking about? How you know we weren't discussing the Bible then? Okay. 4 hours you've been out there playing cards and all that other, and then 5 minutes.
Right. Like he was saying, ain't nothing wrong with this park out there with your buddies and stuff, you know. Yeah, but hey, the police picked him out.
You're right.
And took him down.
He came out that else. Because you are my witnesses, Adonai, my son whom I have chosen, so that you can know and trust me and understand that I am he. That is a big problem. People say, well, but it is, because there's doctrines that teach against that. Strong doctrines, right? Even today, we still. No God will produce before me, nor will any be after me. Yes, I am Adonai. Besides me, there is no deliverer. I have declared, said, and proclaimed, not some alien God among you. Therefore, you are my witnesses, Adonai. I am God. See, Satan knows how important it is for you to be a witness to God. See, he knows that. And that's why he don't want you to do that. Therefore, he knows God is counting on us to be his witness. And if you can't be his witness, what he needs you. Therefore, let us seek to be a good witness. And no one likes a bad witness. So he wants you to be a good one. Isaiah 44, 6-8 says, thus says Adonai, Israel's king and redeemer, Adonai Zebaoth. I am the first and I am the last. Besides me, there is no God. Now, you hear everybody talking about their different gods and all kinds of gods and all this things. But that's it. He wants to know that there really ain't no God but one. That's him. Who is like me? Let him speak out. Let him show me clearly what has been happening since I set up the eternal people. Everybody is not going to get eternal life. I know what they say, and they say all this, and the devil is destined to keep that eternity stuff going. You're gonna be around for eternity? No. No. Therefore, your future signs and events, don't be frightened, don't be afraid. Witnesses. Is there any God besides me? Israel, is there any God beside our God?
No. No, not any.
Israel, is there any God beside our God?
No. No, not any.
He said, is there any God besides me? He said, there is no other rock. I know of none. And if our God don't know of any, what in the world we doing running around here saying that there is? And we know all these different stuff. We know all this. We're just now beginning to understand. We're just now beginning to step out into space and understand some of the things going on like that and all. And it says you know all these things. You want to understand that situations around requires a whole different element to things. You step out there in space without carrying some oxygen and see how long you last. You find out it's a vacuum out here. And so we think we know, and then we don't know. Isaiah 45, 22 says, our God is sufficient for everybody. And he can handle all of us. You don't need no help. It says, look to me and be saved, all the ends of the earth. For I am God, there is no other. So God don't need no help. What he's saying, I'm the only one, and I can save to the utmost. See? Therefore, why you being God, why? That's a crazy thing. We have all trees in the garden. To get food from, get different kind of everything. We just had to eat that one. We just had to. Yeah, but you don't understand, that tree is going to be special. That tree, okay, yeah. It sure did give us a special. It's going to put you in a special position. It sure did put us in a special position. It did that. It puts me in a position that I don't like. I could have done without that special position. Now what special position I'm talking about? Yeah! That's the end result of eating. Yeah, it brought some other knowledge. It brought some other stuff. Eyes came open. So what? Now you die. Eyes closed again.
Yeah,
Think about that.
that's true.
Think about that.
It's better off.
There you go. Okay, yeah. Eyes came open. Yeah, but it's gonna be shattered pretty soon. I think I like the best. First was the best way. For let us move forward here. God is the city son. And we go to John 17, 7 and 8. It says, now they know that everything you have given me is from you. Not these folks that believe that he's God. They don't know that. They don't accept that. Because what they believe is totally opposite of believing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. They don't want to be taken from it either.
You're right.
Bottom down.
Now they know that everything you have given me is from you. No, it ain't, because you is the Father. See, Satan always tricks stuff around. He always goes against exactly that what God is doing. And the truth and all those things, he just like to move it around different ways. Why? He said, because the word you gave me, I have given to them, and they have received them. They have really come to know that I came from you, not I am you.
They figure, oh, yeah, he made a mistake on
They have really come to know that I came from you, and they have come to trust that you sent me. Now, therefore, all that is telling us is dynamically against the Trinity and what they teach. But yet still, and all of it there, the biggest majority of the religious world, evangelicals and all that stuff, the Christian, all that stuff there, believe opposite.
Yeah, that's something that, they sit and hear this pastor teach that, but they don't, you have very few out of that large group to really, study and look at this scripture for themselves and see, wait. Now he said, you sent me. I know well that you are the Father if you were sent.
Right.
So, a lot of them just don't read their Bible.
Yeah.
They just take for granted what he's saying.
And that's it.
So it took you a little bit, huh, Brother Matthew?
Yeah, I mean, but see, when you're taught that over and over and over,
Yeah.
it becomes believable.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just like that thing with Trump. The stove, stop the steal, stop the steal, stop the steal.
Yeah.
He's just caught on to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're stealing it. They ain't investigated or nothing. They just went on a whim. And just believed this man, now they're in big trouble.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think a lot of them do hear it, but they just like to stay in a big crowded church because, they don't want to leave and go to a smaller church. You know what I'm saying? That's what I heard from most of them that do understand. They understand what the pastor is saying, but they don't want to leave that big congregation.
Yeah. And that's why I said, you gotta learn how to cut the loose when they ain't no good company.
yeah.
And right in there, the scripture teaches that. Broad is the way that leads where?
That's right.
Destruction. And many.
Go in there.
That's right. Many is in there. That's all the big mega churches and all that right in there.
Yeah, I think me and Jim was talking to a lady, and I think that was her conclusion. Because she asked, so is your church a big church or what? No, it's a small church. Well, my church is a big church, and I enjoy the big choir and the instruments and stuff. So that's what she focused on. Reason why that she won't accept nothing else because of that.
Big crowd get them folks in trouble. Big crowd go get them folks in trouble now.
Yeah,
Who's in trouble and everything. They got all fenced up because there's a big old crowd there. Got all charged. Let's walk on it. Let's go around. They just.
Yeah.
Now, so man, you said one lady said she got 8 kids or something.
Yeah.
You had to make kids before you walk.
Right.
You didn't just get to make kids. You had them. You should have thought about thinking about them before you went down there.
That's it. Hey, now what them 8 kids gonna do?
Yeah, right. Over there, he said that he worried about nothing. He got $200 million that
Right.
they done sent him and stuff and all
That's
that.
their money, huh?
Yeah. People don't understand this why that never gets to the right folks. That's the problem. Tells us, John 14:28. This is the one that I tell you, y'all going to answer this. Not me. You heard me tell you, I am leaving, and I will come back to you. If you love me, you would have been glad that I'm going to the Father, because I am the Father. That's what I'm saying. That's what the Trinity is saying.
Mm-hmm.
But that ain't what he's saying.
Right.
He said, I'm going to the Father, because the Father is greater than I. And they say, you're lying.
And they saying, no, you're not going to the Father, you're going to be the Father.
Right. And not only that, but then they turn around, and your Father ain't greater than you. I said, so y'all want to answer him.
Yeah.
Then come with that deep Christian stuff with him. See how funny.
Right.
Yeah, you just don't understand. You ain't got there yet.
What you saying? I heard him tell me that.
I got something deep for you, that lake of fire.
I don't. Hey, I ain't got to understand those deep mysteries. I said I understand the clear mystery, this clear word.
Clear right there.
He said the clear word said my Father is greater.
Right.
I said now why in the world I want to try to read some deep mystery? Can't nobody understand everything here to read something different from that. That makes no sense.
Well,
Except,
but then they say, well, this it was good enough for grandma, it's good enough for me.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what they tell you. She was a good Christian. She loved everybody. Gave everybody some gumbo, pig foot and everything in it. Everybody.
You can't say my grandmother was wrong. People got to
I
fight
know she
over
made it to heaven. I know my grandma made it to heaven. Oh, yeah, they tell you that. Yeah.
You have to think about all that thing. When you get that out, you start thinking about your grandmother and all that stuff there, and check out your grandma's life history and who is this woman? Some grandma was.
Tipping. They were tipping,
something
yeah.
there.
It was something else.
They had a man on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Grandma something else.
Grandpa's head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it, but they were tipping out too.
Yeah, they were all tipping.
They didn't have no DNA and all. They ain't got no DNA and all this stuff now. Like back then, they didn't have that there like they got now.
Mm-hmm.
See, you stuck with hey, that was your kid. Yeah, but I wasn't even in town and everything. All that yours. I was in jail, but that's still jail. But hey, now they get your DNA and they So men can't come up with this stuff. Just think that God knows exactly, because people say, "Well, how God don't know all that there?" But now we begin to understand technology stuff, how these things are. This guy here, I looked at this one, I looked at a lot of court pictures and stuff, and 30 years ago, she tipped on him.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He accepted the fact that was his kid, and all that stuff, and then found out that it wasn't.
Okay.
And then he didn't support her and didn't pay child support. He didn't get all this for all them years and all that. It turns out that he's a good man and everything, but that wasn't yours.
Yeah, that's what happened to a friend of mine in Arkansas. I'm saying the girl knew he wasn't his,
Yeah.
but because he was a decent man and had a job, hey, you the daddy. And so I think the girl was 20-some years old. I guess when the actual daddy came forth and just said, "Now she's mine," and showed him the, I guess he showed him the papers or something. I know I heard that they found out that that he wasn't the father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell. They got nothing wrong. You can tell. That's good one way and bad another way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys are, no. She was right there. Oh, that might be true. But now they can point out who it was. Yeah.
At one show, I don't want to name the name of the show, so I don't want to give no free advertising. But one particular show everybody's familiar with, and he said, "Oh yeah, you're the baby. Look at it. Look at the nose. Look at the lid. Look at the mouth." And he said, "Yeah, it is all in." And then he come out with this paper. He said, "You are not the father." When he did the DNA test.
Oh yeah,
and she was all on the floor.
Parental, parental custody. Parental. But that's what I'm talking about. I watched that because I was trying to guess and trying to figure out, well, he's not the one or he is the one and all that stuff. Yeah. And you can't tell by what they look like and everything.
No, you can't tell by that.
And he don't look nothing like me.
No, you are.
Yes, I don't care what he looks like and everything. DNA don't lie. Therefore, our children can take back on relatives and other parts and stuff. Yeah.
Matthew, he was up here last week, by G. So
Oh, okay. Oh, he was up here?
He drive big trucks, so he came by Steve's house last Friday night, and he called me. And so he was talking about how many kids he had, and he said that he knows 3 of them was here, but his little girl, he said, he not for sure that is, but he go ahead on, accept her as his daughter, but he said he didn't think that was his. So because he, like I said, he drive big trucks from coast to coast. So he always on the road all the time. So he just, like I said, accept her being his daughter, and she ain't his daughter. So.
But he don't know for sure. Though.
Right, he not for sure, but he said she don't look like his mother, but all the others look like him. This one don't look like it, so I guess he didn't push, they tried to get no DNA, but he accepted that she be his daughter.
God got all these things. We're not just coming. What the apostle said. He said he saw a vision there, and he was standing before God there, and he's gonna ask him a question, and he's gonna lie about it.
Yeah, you gonna lie to God?
Yeah, he's gonna lie about it. He said when he opened his mouth,
Come on.
shock him. So mankind now gets certain villages of how to do things there. And one of these days, they say that when you say words and all those stuff there, it stays forever out there. Just don't have the ability to detect it, on those things there, but the energy and all those things of it stays out there. And so, not be lose your strength and everything, but it's still minute out there, so. They can get those things now, like I said, now they can do the talk and everything there, and they can record certain things and they can match up your voice. And be 99.9%, that's you. So, therefore, let us move forward in those things there. Let's keep God's word. God's word is true, and that truth is going to last. All right. We read for your beloved day, Shemash, Adam ben Israel.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom.
There's a lot going on in the news right now. And in Israel, they've been, vaccinating, a lot of people. But they say it's beginning to slow down because they can't get people to come in and take the shot. They found that one health provider had to throw out 1,000 doses that had expired because the Pfizer vaccine that they use in Israel,
Right.
it expires quick. Once you remove it from the freezer.
Yeah, what you
Right.
be free, yeah, right.
So they have to throw out 1,000 doses.
Yeah.
In order to get people to come in and take the shot.
Boy.
And the health ministry said Monday evening that 87,000 people have been vaccinated since midnight, down from the daily rate of around 150,000.
And that's where?
Those are Monday.
Israel?
Those Monday evening. Before it slowed down, they were vaccinated over 150,000 people a day. But as of Monday, the rate had dropped to 87,000.
Oh, man, that's a big job.
Yeah, because we think, people don't come in.
He won't, right?
And said weeks ago, a total of 1.3 million Israelis have received the first shot, and 1.8 million have received the second shot. So,
Amen.
I guess it's not the same way here. A lot of people don't want to take it.
Yeah, it is.
On that Pfizer shot, it's 5 hours. After 5 hours, it's no good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the first forecast. When they take it off to use it, they gotta use it within 5 hours. Can't use
What they need is all the people right there, when they take out enough to do the people that care.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In Israel, yesterday, they, in violation of the national lockdown regulations, aimed to carry the spread of coronavirus. Sunday, this rabbi died. He was
Wow.
99 years old. He died of COVID.
Man.
And so they was having this funeral, and they said it was about 10,000 people in this, funeral together.
Oh, man.
That half of them wearing masks, and some wasn't.
Yeah.
And while they was having that funeral, this other rabbi, that was 98, he died. So And when they had his funeral that same day, there was about 8,000 people in that gathering.
Man,
You know, but then they were expecting more. And like I say, some wearing masks and some wasn't.
mm,
And, you know, every time we every time we kind of, the fatalities start dropping, you know, some big, holiday or something come up. Just like now, tomorrow, the Super Bowl.
mhm,
Yep.
And all these people gonna be gathering in these homes and different places to watch
Right.
the Super Bowl.
right.
And it's gonna shoot back up again.
Yep.
You know, I don't know.
But they, the announcement said, just let your immediate family, be there,
Yeah,
Huh?
they've been saying that all along.
right?
Yeah. People ain't gonna listen. They wanna get all their friends over and get the drinking and,
Mhm.
you know, and get on the game and all that.
Yep.
They just won't listen. Big Roaring Airport, that's the main airport you come in, when you come into Israel. It's shut down for 2 more weeks, you know,
Oh, boy.
it's been shut down since, the 25th of January, not totally. The only somebody could travel, you know, was, medical treatment, essential work, legal proceedings, funeral of a relative, non-citizen leaving the country, and those traveling from one residence to another. As far as you getting a ticket to go, you know, somewhere just to be gone, you can't travel. I mean, it'll be locked down until the 20th of February. But it's already locked down from the 25th of January. So, you know, they're kind of trying to corral the virus. So those need to travel for other circumstances have to be allowed to file with their case to a committee for review. And they say for the next 2 weeks, all requests for entry and exit will need to be received approval. We need to receive approval from the town which will be headed by Settlement Affairs Ministry. So you have to get approval to go somewhere, you know, if they'll look at it and see if it's emergency or something. No, not. And this lockdown, usually, they're gonna reopen everything. Start reopening everything.
Is that next week or what?
Now, it's supposed to start tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
No.
It's supposed to start yesterday, but they changed it until tomorrow at 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I start, businesses that do not cater to the public will be able to reopen. Also allowed to reopen will be restaurants, takeaway service, barber shop, hairdresser, national park, and all things will be reopened.
I heard one guy was saying that the lockdown don't work.
No, it's not working.
I guess like in Israel, you got, they say a lot of them rabbis are Orthodox Jews and not really following
They're the main one.
it. Yeah.
Right now, we're against accuse each other of playing games with people's lives
Mm.
to gain momentum ahead of the coming up March election.
Mm.
You know. Yeah. This is what we just said. The lockdown was to expire yesterday, but they extended it to Sunday. And then Sunday, they're gonna, start reopening some things. So, Also, in the U.S. here, Biden is the Jewish president for Israel. Israel needed. And no president has deep and personal bonds to the Jewish people than Biden. You know, he got a whole lot of people in his cabinet that's Jews.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, all three of his children who survived into adulthood married Jews. All three of his kids. I didn't know he had a daughter.
Yeah,
You know,
from his previous marriage, I believe.
they said, yeah. I just thought he had those two sons.
Mm.
The one died and the one was killed.
Wait, no, I take that back. That's right. The girl from his previous marriage died, so he had one by the woman he with now.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know he even had. Said, for decades, his closest allies, closest aides and allies have been Jewish. That is in his newly formed cabinet. Besides his chief of staff, Ron Klain, the Treasury Secretary, the Attorney General, Director of National Intelligence, CIA, Deputy Director, and Secretary of State, all are Jewish.
Mm.
And also Chuck Schumer.
Oh, okay. He's Jewish.
Yeah. So, you know, just wondering if the blacks ain't hollering, you know, but what he was hollering, you know, and where he was getting that blacks in office. You know, there's been a war going on in Yemen for years. You know, I think since, I don't know how many years. But Biden announced other changes to the foreign policy, such as a significant increase in the number of refugees accepted by the U.S. from 15,000 to 125,000 per year that can enter the United States refugees. And for Russia, God said that I made it clear to Vladimir Putin in manner very different from my predecessor, that the days of the United States rolling over in the face of Russia and aggressive actions are over. Oh. So Biden, he let him have it, you know. That ain't all he said. He let him have it. He was telling, you know, he ain't never Trump, you know.
But you know, you got a lot of them saying, "Oh well, yeah, we know you're not Trump, but you're President Obama."
Yeah.
Or he said that that they believe that way Biden is doing, they make him think that he just carrying out what Obama plan was.
Yeah. And you know, Trump, he was withdrawing all the troops from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Troops been in Germany ever since World War II.
Mm.
You know, I was there in Germany. I was up for the Berlin Wall, going to Berlin Wall. You know, from East Germany to West Germany.
Right.
That's before they took the wall down. Now it's all just Germany.
Mm.
But it used to be East and West Germany. But, you know, time the Berlin Wall, but
There's a separation.
yeah. What we was doing, keeping the East out of from coming into the West.
Right. Right.
So, like I say, Trump was removing all the troops from Germany. The party said that the withdrawal of U.S. troops to Germany will be frozen, and forces will remain at their current level of about 36,000. Trump, he wants to draw it down to like 12,000 people. You know. So, I mean, the United States, they over there to help Germany, you know, in a lot of things, you know.
Right.
Also, the United States will stop supporting offensive operations, including the sale of precision-guided munitions to Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. You know, when Trump was in office, he increased the support for Saudi Arabia. You know, he increased the support. Biden said he gonna cut it. And you know, every time when a new president come in, the predecessor leaves, when they have these intelligence briefings, they all the presidents, you know, briefed on.
Mm-hmm.
They said Trump don't need to be in. They don't need to tell him nothing. They're gonna leave him out because they say he might slip and say something.
Oh,
He
yeah.
don't have to slip. He just gonna say it.
Right.
He might say something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he definitely gonna say something wrong.
You don't have to slip with him. Yeah, you know, the top diplomats of Britain, France, and Germany, and the United States, they met Friday. And it's been years since Trump, I think 2018, since it's been 3 years since those countries have met. They're gonna start meeting and discussing, you know, things in Iran. You know. And y'all know Fox News, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fox News is getting sued.
Oh, what about Trump?
Now he gets sued because of Trump people.
Oh.
Because they Blue Dog, you know, he was spreading, you know how he was spreading rumors that the election was rigged.
Yeah, right.
All this stuff. When this voting machine, like Smartmatic, they're suing Fox
Oh, okay, yeah.
for $2.7 billion.
Yeah, the election people, yeah.
For $2.7 billion. And also, Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
Janine Farrow, that lady be on Fox.
and Judge to be,
Yeah. Her and Sidney Powell, they lawyer that Trump had, the lady,
Mm-hmm.
all of them get sued.
Oh, man.
By this machine maker.
Use Kennedy on that.
No, they sure didn't get it. They sure ain't saying nothing about it.
we sure should have got him.
Yeah.
Stand in line too.
They should get them all.
Yeah.
They on Fox. None of them talk good about the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what they do. You know, that, when Trump was in there, he spent money like going crazy. They right with it. Now Biden didn't spend nothing.
But you know, Fox News was the first one to come out and announce that Biden was the president. I mean, you know, he won the election.
Yeah, in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the man that said that lost his job too. He lost his job for saying that.
Yeah.
So that's the update for the day. Shabbat shalom.
Hallelujah.
This world is still in a bad situation here, you know.
Yeah.
This is why they haven't, you know, they haven't taken the National Guard away from capital city.
Right.
And you know why they haven't done that, right? Because they expect to make the food during this time of the impeachment.
Okay.
See? You know, that hatred still is rolling. And Trump talked all that noise, Come on, hey, I'm gonna stand up for myself and all that there. The Senate asked him if he gonna come and testify hearing. Impeachment trial, and he turned him down. He declined it up.
Oh, what he sent his lawyer or what?
The lawyer don't want to, the lawyer sure don't want to get up there. And so now, the senator told him, the Democrat told him that if you don't testify and everything, understand what that means. That's right. It means that they'll assume that.
But don't they have to have, how many, 16, Republicans? 17? So they don't have 17 Republicans, do they? Oh, okay, I thought I heard that so far they maybe have 6, but I don't know, maybe some, you got some more that's gonna jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah. They still got the overriding one. They still overriding. They want to be partisan. They want to be classified as bipartisan.
Right.
They don't have to have them. It's just like the Fort and Biden said y'all will still get y'all $1,400.
Well, yeah, and say if Republicans don't vote for it, they're gonna jump the other way.
Yeah.
So they don't need them.
Right. But they were prefer to have it bipartisan.
Right.
And so they got to have so many of them, to make it bipartisan, but
Right.
they don't. They said, hey, we're gonna go and do it anyway.
But I thought it was one Democrat that refused to vote for it. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
And then
that's why it's here.
I didn't know that they convinced him to vote for it or not.
No. Unfortunately, I don't understand that there.
I think he also going on to switch over to Republican.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I said, yeah, he sounds like a Republican. He just ran the Democrat.
We'll see about all things. All right. I'm gonna ask you to bow your heads. Tonight, Baraka. Let's go, like King of your Torah, arrived in the prophet, and the great exercise by that great spirit, and have commanded the diligent teaching unto our children, unto our people, and in all people of the earth. And let all Israel say, Amen. Our Torah reading for this week's Parashah is taken from the book of Exodus, the 18th chapter, starting from the first verse to the 20th chapter and the 23rd verse. That is Exodus 18:1 to the 20th chapter and the 23rd verse. Our Torah reading is taken from the book of Isaiah, the 6th chapter, starting from the first verse to the 7th chapter and the 6th verse. That is Isaiah 6:1 to the 7th chapter and the 6th verse. This Parashah 17, which is Yitro, which means His Excellency. Our people will be taken from the Haftorah regions we give them by Shema. Let us give him an honor and validation as we do it in Yahshua.
Shalom.
Shabbat
Scripture reading is taken from Isaiah the 6th chapter, 8 through the 13th verse. It's Isaiah 6, 8 through 13. It's page 455, 445. Yeah, 445. Then I heard the voice of Adonai saying, whom should I send? Who will go for us? I answered, I am here, send me. He said, go and tell these people, yes, you hear, but you don't understand. You certainly see, but you don't get the point. Make the heart of this people sluggish with fat, stop up their ears and shut their eyes. Otherwise, seeing with their eyes and hearing with their ears, then understanding with their hearts, they might repent and be healed. I asked, Adonai, how long? And he answered, until cities become inhabited, ruins, houses without human presence, and land utterly wasted, until Adonai drive the people far away, and the land is one vast desolation. If even a tenth of the people remain, it will again be divided. May God especially bless the reading of the word.
We think that we know our God and all the things about him, but we just haven't got enough experience, and we just haven't got enough maturity, see, to really come around. See, we've only been here for a few days, talking about all mankind itself, only been here for a few days, and we think that we are up with this fullness, so we can fully understand it, you know. That's just like our children, you know, they get 18 and they think that they're ready to fully to understand the whole wiles of the world. And they're not. See? I'm 18. So what? See? I'm on. I was 18. I thought that same way. You know? But I didn't get to a lot of maturity till I got much older than that. Cause my mother told me that, yeah, you ain't learned no maturity till you, one of these days you gonna appreciate me, you know, getting these whoopings for you. I hadn't near got no maturity at no 18. I still think she was doing me wrong and all that stuff there in that head. But finally, I had get my own children and all my own and all that stuff there and understanding all of that. Then I finally started getting a little maturity. Then I reached that goal of telling me you was right. I do appreciate that. See? So that's the way it is with y'all. You know, we still young kids on the block. That's what I tell folks, you know. And some say, well, I don't know how to take. Depends on you. But generally, we're slow. And not only that, but we're slow by nature. Take an animal can get born within that same day. I ain't talking about no one. And within that same 24 hours, it can be up running around. Ain't no human being gonna do that. You still call and still and that first day you gave him crawl. Not only talking about come on, get him running and walking around, you gave him crawl. Therefore, God knows how he made us. And therefore, we just got to depend on those things there and wait out and learn to trust. It's like old baby has a trust. See? On that end there. So is it with us. God has a plan and I laid out things for his children. God did these things for Israel, and and the reason why we go over and over again those things is to see how God fashioned and how God worked with them. And the more I go over it, and I've been doing this for years, the more I go over it, the more I learn and uncover things. Then I realize that, hey, some of these things are things that actually happened in my family and growing up and those things there. So God was dealing with us in that form. See? God had a plan for bringing us out of Egypt. And that plan wasn't all in agreement to what they had in mind. All they had in mind was, I'm free. I want to go out and do what I want to do. Remind me anything else?
That's where it is today.
Our kids. How many years I've been preaching and telling me that it ain't fair out there. Kids, the world ain't fair. And they seem they don't seem to praise them at all. They just say, hey, they think, yeah, y'all just don't understand. Y'all don't know how to do things, but I know how to maneuver stuff, and everything. We're smarter than y'all is, So it might not have been. Let me tell you something. It ain't fair now. I don't care how smart you think he is. It's still what I said is still true. It's not fair out there. And you get that idea and everything there. Russian, like I said, I was talking to this young lady the doctor, and she said the same thing. She said, boy, what was I thinking about? She said, I was rushing to get out there, couldn't wait to get 18. Rushing to do what? Yeah, that's what she said. She said, I didn't realize how good I had it. See, now I'm rushing out here and I got to do all this. She had to face a problem, and she said that the babysitter that they had and everything thought the babysitter said they ain't babysitting no more and everything. So she had to quit her job. She had to quit the job and reduce the job days and everything she worked and everything. And Mama told her too. Mama said, hey, Mama used to take the kids and everything there and keep them for her. Mama said, I can only do 2 days. She said, what's wrong? She said, I'm getting too old to be running around and taking them kids. She said, 2 days is my limit. What in the world are rushing to do? Because we got a whole nother idea of how we think things are going to go.
I know I rushed out there like the stars. It's like I these 2 weeks.
Yep. It's not fair out there, dear folks. But nevertheless, you had it that way, and those things there. But God was telling them, I got things for you ahead of time. What that plan was. When he told Pharaoh, what was that plan that God had for them? Let them go that they might come and worship me. Not according to the way they've been doing it. Not according to their idea, however, but I got another way for them. It's about them just getting we just going to do whatever they want to do. No, God had a plan for them. God saved them. Oh, God saved me because I'm black. God saved me because I got the blood. God, no, that's part true. Abraham. And God promised that to the seed of Abraham. But there are restrictions to everything. And that's what we got to understand. And if you don't, see, you're going to miss out. So God had a plan to save them, to bring them out, and to bring them to Mount Sinai. See? And we're going to start reading in Exodus, the 19th chapter, first 2 verses, Exodus 19.
Okay. In the 3rd month, after the people of Israel had left the land of Egypt.
3rd month, 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
God had, they had sat there and went through the water. They had been baptized, heading on, and now they ready now for the next stage.
The same day they came to the Sinai desert. After setting out from Rephidim and arriving at the Sinai desert, they set up camp in the desert.
All right, so they set up camp there at Mount Sinai. That wasn't no accident. That wasn't no accident. That wasn't. God had that planned out. That was part of his plan. And everything, somebody got to tell them about it. Read on.
There in front of the mountain, Israel set up camp. Moshe God, and Adonai called to him from the mountain. Here is what you are to say to the household of Yaakov, to tell the people of Israel. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I carried you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself.
Now I want you to understand this. God was reminding them, so when God do things to us, that's why he wants us to forget those things. Because if you forget what he done in those things there, see, you miss out on the connection. You miss out on the flow of why these things happen. You start thinking it's happened because it's a prisoner. You start thinking all that. He say, part of that you bring it, had to do with me.
Right, promise Abraham.
Yeah. Now he gonna see, he gonna let them know that, yeah, see. You just a part of the puzzle. And that's why I keep telling them, we are a part of the puzzle. There are people that think that we're there, all in all. No, you're not. If I don't do so, this whole thing gonna fall. No, it ain't. It just means that you're gonna miss out. The Mashiach come and clear that up and say that they don't do it, he said, rocks will raise up. God got dirt doing it. That's what you is, that's what I am. So how come he can't raise up a rock to do it? So let's get that out. Let's get that picture out. I'm so important that if I don't do it, everything gonna go gone. No, that's a lie that Satan wants you to believe. That's a lie that he wants you to. No, I keep telling people when they get that attitude, I say, all that means is you just gonna miss out. You gonna miss out. But God's plan is gonna go head on. So he had to remind us. We have to be reminded of these things. He said, why do I have to go over and over again? Why did God have to remind him over and over again? Because he knows how he is. Why do you have to remind your children over and over again? I remember I had to remind my children over and over again. Why do you think they shoot the commercials and stuff to you over and over and over again? They just don't play that commercial one time and that's it. Right?
Right. sure you did it.
That's exactly right. These are the type of creatures we are. God made us this way. Huh? Creatures.
Creature.
Yeah, creatures, not Christians.
Oh, okay.
Creatures. God made us. God didn't make us Christians.
Okay.
God made us creatures. That's what I mean. Right. Just like I was talking, you might have been, I was just talking about, we are creatures of slow doing. We ain't like the animals, those creatures. Like I say, they can birth a baby there. 2, 3 hours, 4, 5 hours, that baby's up running along. Your baby can't even crawl. Therefore, that's what I'm saying here. So he said he had to remind them. He said, remember what I did to the Egyptians. Don't let that. And that was the reason why I done it. Read on.
This verse says, now if you would pay careful attention to what I say and keep my covenant, then you will be my own treasure from among all the people. For all the earth is mine, and you will be a kingdom according for me.
Now that's what God had in mind for. That's what God wanted to keep them in mind for. We have to keep reminding her, this is the purpose of what, and this is what I got in mind for you. But let me tell you something different. We think that because God had this in mind for us, that means that everything will go along real good, and we're going to instantly go from this here to that the other. No, there's a process. See? I'm born again, so I'm automatically a king. I'm automatic. Okay, you ain't ready for nothing. You just got born. See? You got to mature into this. So we had to remind them. This is the reason why I'm doing this. Is the process you're going through. I got you to this place here. I'm the one that got you this here. There's a reason. And here's a plan that I have for you on that end. Go to Isaiah 42. And so I read the 21st verse of Isaiah 42. This is much, much later. After God done brought the children of Israel out and those things, still dealing with his children. Years later. And what did he say there?
Adonai was pleased for the righteousness' sake, and to make the Torah great and glorious. But this is a people to get tribute and plunder, all trapped in holes and squashed in prison. They are there to be plundered, and no one to rescue them. There to be tribute, and no one to say, return them. Which of you will listen to this? Who will hear and give heed in the time to come? Who gave Yaakov to be tribute? Israel to the plunderer? Didn't Adonai against whom he has sinned, in whose ways they refuse to walk?
All right, there you go. Why did they refuse to walk in Yah's ways? Why did they refuse to walk in? Because they had their own ideas.
Mm-hmm.
The ass syndrome. I can do this. I can do that. Yeah. They had false prophets that come along and told them this and all that this and he said, I didn't send them. They told you stuff out of their own thoughts and their own ideas. They were not my words. I didn't send them. But you believed them and you followed after them. Therefore, this is why you're back in this situation here. Say what I had in mind for you. You didn't follow my ways. Follow it. I tell children that you got a good parents that's gonna tell you to follow your parents, even though it is sin. See? Because they're looking out for your best interest.
Amen.
They're not looking out for your pleasure right at the moment, there.
Amen.
They're looking out for your best interest. And your best interest ain't always smooth and sometimes your best interest is that, hey, now you gotta cut that company loose. You can't be running around there with them now. You can't be doing it because, you can decide yourself who you get. Now I know what my mother told us, when she leave the house and everything there, we couldn't have no company. Cause we act different when she ain't around and those things there. And so she said, no, you can't have no company. I didn't like it and all like that, but hey, it showed the best thing for us. Cause you get to playing around there and act crazy around there and tear up with stuff and all that stuff there. See? So they knew what they were doing. So God knew what he was doing here. So this ain't just happened in Israel then, it happened years later, showing you that we don't change very much. This was 100 years later that Isaiah was coming and saying, you done right back in the same situation. Because you're still stuck on what you want to do rather than follow Yah's ways and laws. Our children, they go out there and get out and do what they do. Whatever, when they're going, Daddy, come get me, I'm in jail. Mama, come. No, you can't wait to get away from Daddy. You can't wait to get from Mama so you can do your own thing. And so you go on. Israel was the same way. And that's why our prophet come along and say, this is why you're in that situation now. This is why you're in this situation right now and all that. Because you wouldn't follow through, you wouldn't do those things. So you have to constantly remind them. You have to constantly be reminded. So God said, I got something for you, and I want to remind you, what I did to the Egyptians. That was only 3 months ago that you was in Egypt. 3 months, and God had to remind them. Trying to get their attention, trying to get their minds in line. He had to remind them. And what was Israel's response? Then let's go back to Exodus 19th chapter. And start reading the 7th and 8th verse there.
Says Moshe summoned the leaders of the people and presented them with all these words which Adonai had ordered him to say. All the people answered as one. Everything Adonai said, we will do.
Oh man, that sounds good, don't it?
Yeah.
Woo! We had, like I said, we had one here that got up and testified. I'm going to do so and so. I'm going to, boy, I feel good about it. My heart feels rejoiced about that. Because I was talking to him, I was telling him, when you go to college and everything, you're going down there to do a certain thing here, and I'm going to show him. His show him had a different.
Then he said, "Big Mason, I'm gonna show him how to party."
No, see,
Yeah.
see, I got it on the back and on the end of that. I thought he was talking about what I was saying about it. You were gonna show us, that hey. Cause I told you, if you go to school down there for any other purpose than to go down there to get an education and everything, you're gonna wind up in trouble.
They don't know how to party. I'm sure how to.
Oh, he was doomed from the get-go.
That's what happened to Israel. Israel was in natural mind, and they can say to God anyway, and just they functioning with and think they was gonna get it, but they didn't qualify. They did.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. That they have a whole different aspect of things than what has been said out. So read on there.
Okay. Moshe reported the words of the people to Adonai. Adonai said to Moshe, "See, I am coming to you in a thick cloud, so that the people will be able to hear when I speak with you, and also to trust in you forever."
Now notice here, God had a whole different idea because they had some questions in their minds. They still didn't believe Moshe. After God didn't use him, then brought on all those things, they still didn't believe in Moshe. Even after they was baptized into him by going through, they still didn't believe in him. I read it to you last week. That when they went down to the Red Sea and thing, that was a type of baptizing him into Moshe. So just because a person gets baptized or I'm born again, that don't mean a thing. We got all these Christians and all these people running around there hollering about, I'm born again, and all this, and it don't mean a thing. And when I tell folks that they get mad, they always say, "Yeah, you do that." Hey, I'm not. See, it's proved out. God said, I got to do something different. I got to do something else different because these folks are not doing this. He said, so I'm glad you answered me the way you answered it.
I have to work my program now.
See? He said, I'm glad you answered this here. See? And here's what's going on. He said, I'm doing this so they will believe Moshe. Because that's the way God deals with us. God have ordained through the foolishness of preaching to do what? Save the world. God don't venture away from his. When God chooses a man, that's it. You don't ask what you like it a lot, and all those things there. He chose Moshe, and that was it. He said, now, I got to work on you to get you to accept what I done. You think that's something? They didn't believe him. He said, I'm going to do some special stuff now that you might believe Moshe. What did he say that? Yeah. That's the starting at the 9th verse now.
Adonai said to Moshe, "See, I am coming to you in a thick cloud, so that the people will be able to hear when I speak with you, and also to trust in you forever." Now,
who was going to get them? Who was going to get their attention and everything? Who was going to do those things there? The hearing.
That didn't last.
Satan deal with us through hearing. When he told her, you ain't gonna die, you ain't gonna do it, she was hearing that. So God said, hey, I'm coming down here, and when they hear my voice, I want them to know forever and believe Moshe. What was going to make them believe? What was it they had to believe about Moshe?
That God was talking to him, giving Moshe instruction to give to Israel.
Exactly. That he was actually God's choice. He was actually sent by God.
Right.
Because they didn't believe it. After all the stuff that they don't saw happening, they still didn't believe it. They still didn't believe it. Oh, you think that's something? Oh, you think that's something? You think that's something fantastic? Go to Mark, the 9th chapter. I want you to see how these things, people think these things are changed, but it hasn't changed. Mark 9. And you'll start reading at the 7th verse.
Then a cloud enveloped them,
Then a cloud enveloped them,
and the voice came out of the cloud. This is my son, whom I love. Listen to him.
all right. God had to do a special thing even for them to hear him. They was on Mount Sinai. Not Mount Sinai, Mount Transfiguration.
Right.
And there opposed these men. Moshe was among them. They had an idea. Let us build this here. Let's build 3 tabernacles. And God said, no, you still ain't understood nothing. Hundreds of years later, he said, you still ain't. Moshe told you about it.
Amen.
Even in this Parashah, what we're talking about right now, Moshe told him about it. Said, there's one coming like me. But because you haven't been reminded of that, you haven't done it. You got this idea, you got this thought, but you haven't stepped on fire. But what did God tell him to do that? He said, hear who?
Hear him.
That's it. And read on. I want you to see that. What else? Read one.
Okay, 8th verse says, suddenly, when they looked around, they no longer saw anyone with them except Yeshua. As they came down the mountain, he warned them not to tell anyone what they had seen until after the Son of Man had risen from the dead.
All right. Yeah. God had a set time, had a certain privilege now, but he had to get that established with them so they would know without a shadow of doubt that he was the one that God sent, that they might believe him and what he had to say. And then he come along, and so God was right back doing Moshe the same way. And God did that because that's what they said. They're the one that agreed to that. They're the one that wanted that. But see, they didn't believe Moshe. They thought Moshe was out there ruling over us. You know, that's what I'm saying. See, our kids get 18. What's the main thing they do after they get 18? And what they say? They don't want their parents ruling over them. I don't tell me what to do and everything. I ain't got to go by their own rules and regulations. See? I've had these people come to do that. I ain't got to go by some rules and regulations. I say, hey, you in their house? You paying rent? Yeah. No, hey, why I got to pay rent? I'm the son. I'm the daughter. I say, well, then the rule still applies. I ain't seen no age limit where it says that honor your father and your mother, and I ain't seen no age limit on where it cuts off at 18 or 21. Have you? I ain't seen that in there. The more that we get advanced in our, the more stupid we get. So the same thing had happened to the Mashiach many times in the scripture there. It tells us, many times that he had to go and teach them. See? And bring to them, I am sent by my Father. Believe I am sent. So that wasn't a strange thing. Moshe was a savior then. See? And the Mashiach is a savior. But he still got to prove himself. We still got to be convinced that he was sent from God. They want to believe everything else except the truth of it. See? We read you earlier in our scripture there, speaking about the Mashiach and all that. His teaching was that let them know that I'm sent of the Father. And they run around and holler, you ain't sent of the Father, you is the Father. You see how Satan do stuff to get us all mixed up? So you have to prove this stuff over and over and again. We think that we're so advanced, and yet see we should steer that way. Amen. And when I'm talking about we, I want you to get that. I ain't talking about us here, and we do. I'm talking mankind as a whole. I want you to get this. So you don't get this mixed all up. Thank goodness that we have the few. Thank goodness that we have a remnant that are seeing through the whole thing and seeing the whole thing out. Otherwise, all will be lost. Amen. But I'm talking about mankind as a whole. See? It's just like brother said, asked, y'all got a big crowd? Now we just a little small group. I don't want nothing to do with that now. I want a big crowd. You ain't see what he said about the big crowd?
They ignored that.
Right. You ain't read in the scripture what he said about the brawlers and the big crowd, now many folks?
But see, I heard some teach that as that's the world is talking about. Not the church, not the Christianity church. It's the world.
That ain't what I found. See? Dear folks, we read on, go back to Exodus. I want you to see how things that God did back those are still things that are repeating over and over again. Same thing, that same functions are going forth now. We're still going. These are just microcosm, just little spot things and things that keep acting the same way. See? Our children, while they go out there, stomp their heads, get banged around. You say, well, maybe they'll learn a lesson and all that stuff there. Next thing you know, they back out there again.
They don't give up easy.
Huh?
They don't give up easily.
There you go. I like that. That's what we are.
The natural man fight the need. Some to the death. Yep.
Some don't make it.
That's right. He said few gonna make it. Few gonna make it.
That's exactly right.
But majority ain't gonna make it.
And we got to understand why.
That's right.
And what's the difference there?
That's right.
So here,
Heart problem.
we go back to Exodus, the 19th chapter, and start reading the 16th verse.
On the morning of the third day, there was thunder, lightning, and a thick cloud on the mountain. Then a shofar blast sounded so loudly that all the people in the camp trembled. Moshe brought the people out of the camp to meet God.
There you go. Okay. Now, they said that they wanted this, and this is what they wanted. God was giving them what they said they wanted. He wanted to believe Moshe. And God said, and so I'm going to take care of that for you. Because y'all going around here thinking that Moshe doing this. Remember, they told Moshe, you just doing this on your own. Ain't no God tell. We ain't heard no God tell you nothing. You're all the time going off yourself and then come back and all that kind of stuff. We ain't heard that. We don't know. You know how people live. We know how them thoughts come. Yeah. They'll tell you that quick and they'll. So we have to get these things in mind. You know. Young people get the attitude and everything. You know, like I said, they'll get it. Ain't nobody over there. Why should I go back there? Why should I have to? Ain't nobody over there right. Where'd you get that idea from? You got to give them something. So I said, well, you that smart, you know that there and everything there. And you know, I said, well, you need to be back over there so you can at least have one that's right. And you wouldn't have a standard to go by, to follow after. And maybe some of Muslims get it right. And most of them say, well, I ain't ready yet. I said, then why are you jumping up saying all this stuff here then? Then you know that you ain't. Yeah, folks. So God said, okay, get ready. I'm going to do it. I'm going to square all this. I'm going to take care of this situation here that y'all saying is Moshe. I'm going to take care of this thing. See? And God got a way to get your attention. They all laying up there sleeping and everything, right? And all of a sudden, they see that thunder and that lightning. God's presence started rolling in there. What he was talking, go read in Isaiah there, and then God's, that was a different presence than any other presence. I want you to see that. God had omnipresence, but when God had this special presence that he was coming down here, the mountain couldn't take it. The sky couldn't take it. It started thundering and.
Those that were asleep woke up.
That's right. And they said, what's going on? They had to run Moshe in. What's going on?
They probably hollering out, save us, Moshe.
See, now you think you know everything and all that. You tell me what's going on, you know. Read on, let's see what happened.
Yes. They stood near the base of the mountain. Mount Sinai was enveloped in smoke because Adonai descended onto it in fire. The smoke went up like the smoke from a furnace, and the mountain shook violently. As the sound of the shofar grew louder and louder, Moshe spoke, and God answered him with a voice.
Oh! Now, just think about how much they squeal. A lot of them that sitting out there in the group, they're hollering about, Moshe ain't talking to nobody. He talking to his own self there. So Moshe hollered like, oh, no. And the voice come back to him. Boy, you can see the devil slapping the face all about there hollering about he just talking to himself. He the one that's doing this. He ain't really doing that there.
Is that an echo?
Yeah, right. But you still have people that still don't believe. Even after all that, there are people that don't believe. Just like on the situation with Trump.
Oh, yeah.
There are people still don't believe right now that And he kicked out and everything and all that. Oh no, he still got he's still my president. He's still that other guy, Biden, he's a fraudulent president, you know. He gonna be back in power, but just wait and see. They're expecting some great thing to happen. But when that voice rolled out and everything, read on, let's see what happened.
The 20th verse says, Adonai came down unto Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain. Then Adonai called Moshe to the top of the mountain, and Moshe went up. Adonai said to Moshe, go down and warn the people not to force their way through to Adonai to see him. If they do, many of them will perish. Even the Kohanim who are allowed to approach Adonai must keep themselves holy. Otherwise, Adonai may break out against them. Moshe said to Adonai, the people can't come up to Mount Sinai because you ordered us to set limits around the mountain and separate it. But Adonai answered him, go get down, then come back up, you and Aaron with you. But don't let the Kohanim and the people force their way through to come up to Adonai, or he will break out against them. So Moshe went down to the people and told them.
Now, I want you, what was God doing here? What was God doing here?
Making sure that they stay safe.
One thing that he was doing, and there's a lot of things, but one of the main things that God was doing, he was letting them know that Moshe is special above the rest of y'all. I want you to get this. When God chooses somebody in our life, he is special above. The Moshiach is special above everybody else.
Hallelujah.
So they seen Moshe going up into this mountain that was on fire, pretty much. So
they had limits. That's why God sent them down and tell them, hey, you can only come here. You can only come here. The Kohanim can only come up here. But you can come on up here. They can't come here. He was setting Moshe out.
Yeah.
And he was also testing them to see whether they're going to be hard-headed or not. To see whether or not they were going to follow him. And then God dealt with them a certain way. See? And that's what I want you to get there. So, where'd you start reading that?
Let's start with 25th. I read 25th.
Okay, that was 1925, right. Now, that's the second part of it. God was actually protecting them.
Yeah, y'all was making sure that they feared him when he came down upon that mountain.
That's right.
Lightning, thundering. Hey, that should put some fear in.
And he told them, reminded them again, go down there and tell them. He had already told them. This is why I say you have to remind folks over again. He said, go down there and tell them again. Don't they come past the, because Moshe said, we already put the boundaries up. He said, I know what you done did and everything there, but you go down there because I know these hard-hearted folks. I know Israel, stiff-necked. But you go down there and remind them again. So I don't have no excuse. Because I will break out on them.
Okay, he said to go up for that. Hey, I should be able to do that too.
That's exactly, and that's right. That's right. He answered to put out going. What was going to make them do that? Moshe can do it. I can do it too. And we got to learn that we can't do what other folks do.
Amen. Because we special.
See? Even among us, we can't do what other folks do. And we got to be able to understand that. God made us a special people among the world, didn't it?
Yeah, we said.
made us Kohanim, priests to the world.
Right.
But in that specialty, therefore, please get that. In that specialty, there's requirements. And therefore, God was saying, I want y'all to get this, understand this. Because don't go break out of them. But we like to do that there. How come so and so and so can do it and we can't? See that's that hardness. That's that unbelief. See? Even though I didn't set the boundaries, then Moshe ain't paying no attention to that. How come he can be treated like that then? We all need to be treated the same. Not so.
Amen.
Please get that.
Amen. God is teaching. God is teaching.
And he's still that way today.
Amen.
He hasn't changed.
Amen.
He said everything that the Mashiach says, everything, listen to him. Because he done made that classification. This is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased. He qualifies.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Did you know he had to qualify?
Yeah.
See, a lot of people think he gets instantly. No, he had to qualify.
Amen.
He had some trying times.
Gotta go through the process.
Yeah, there you go.
So do we.
He had some trying times. He had some processes that he had to go through.
Yes, he did.
And that was tough.
Amen.
That time at Gethsemane, that was a proven time, that boy. That was a tough time. But he made it though. And we can do the same thing. But understand, God has certain positions for people, and you just can't do what you see everybody else do. Well, if they can do it, I can do it. No, can't do that. See? It's just like on your job. A lot of people, when you were working at the bus place, you worked at the bus place, wasn't you? You was an electrical part of the thing now. Everybody can't go out there and just start grabbing them wires up, right?
No, they can't. I can't go grab the seats either.
There you go. Right. Or put the engine in the car, put the engine in the bus and everything. Everybody can't do what they see everybody do.
The engine would have been sideways about.
It would have started.
I don't know. Yeah, everybody got their specialty.
But see, we deal with those things, but yet see, we act crazy when it comes to God. We all no, when it comes to God, it's all no, it's not. That's what I want us to really get to understand. So God said, I want you to understand something. Go back down there and remind them. Don't go past this barrier. There are ordinary people can only go here. Come down to the hill part of it. The Kohanim, they come on up a little further. And that's where they can go. Even Aaron, and even Joshua. They had their limits, but nobody can go as far as who? Moshe. That was a picture, dear folks, of Mashiach. And as a matter of fact, he was a Mashiach. Wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yep.
That's exactly what Mashiach is.
Yeah.
You hear these people, some of these dumb Hebrew Israelites, can't no man say what, can't no man. I believe in the Torah only. I said, you lying, you don't believe in the Torah. I tell them that. They get mad at me. I said, I don't care. I said, you lying, you don't believe in the Torah. I said, because if you did, you would not say that stupid, that stupid word that you just got to say. You wouldn't be that stupid. Torah clearly says to Moshe, come, and I'll take you, and I'll get rid of all of them. And Torah clearly says, because of you, Moshe, I'm doing this. Because Moshe said, he put his life on the stake for him. And that's what a Mashiach is for. And that's what a Mashiach is all about. That good shepherd. He ain't a hireling. He give his life
For the sheep.
for the sheep.
That's right.
And he was willing to give his life. And we know the Mashiach had to. He was tired though. He was tired. And he came through. And he came through by getting the eye out the way. Right? Y'all know what I mean when I say get the eye out the way?
So,
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, not my will be done, but your will. God got him where he wanted him. God spoke out to him and started speaking the 10 Commandments to him. And man, they broke out like all kind of stuff. They sung a whole new tune after that. It was said that by rabbis and all, that God only got a chance to say two of the commandments before they done took off. And they wanted Moshe to be injected in between that. No, but you didn't want him. You don't want. But nevertheless, after Yah had spoke, what was Israel's reply? See? Yeah.
Wait, this time they said, we listen to you now, Moshe.
Yeah, right. We read that in Exodus, the 20th chapter, in the 15th verse. We'll get this left up here. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All the people experienced the thunder, the lightning, the sound of the shofar, and the mountain smoke. When the people saw it, they trembled, standing at a distance. They said to Moshe, you speak with us, and we will listen. But don't let God speak with us, or we will die.
See that? They was out there, they were talking all that noise, and they was all over. And but when God started speaking, I don't know what it was about the frequencies or what it was about the voice or however it was, but whatever it is, it got their attention. Yeah. And they had to believe one thing that they had wrong. Moshe ain't talking to himself now. This ain't nothing more. This ain't Moshe coming. What we thought about Moshe was doing that. This proved that we were wrong on that. Because that voice is coming out, and that ain't Moshe throwing his voice either.
right.
He wasn't no big squirrels. That's something else that's dealing with. And that voice was ringing out above all of them, roaring out. And they said, we don't want to hear that voice no more. Yeah. Yeah. You know,
23rd says, Moshe answered the people, don't be afraid, because God has come only to test you and to make you fear him, so that you won't commit sin.
what was that? What was that?
Come to test
What was God doing this for?
Tested it.
Test them, so they won't commit
Well, God gonna test us now.
Yes, it does.
See? Oh, no. God gonna test us now. No. Yes, he does.
He still wanted to fear him.
I like that.
And he still don't want us to commit sin.
And I like that. All these instructions right there, God still have to change from that. But people got it all wrong. People got it all wrong. That was that old God back down there before Jesus came. That old terrible God that put people under bondage and put them under the. But we're free. We ain't got to worry about that no more. We ain't got God, you know. We sons. I said, what that mean when you tell me you sons? I said, yeah, you sons. If these things be true, what you're saying. I said, but a lot of y'all, it ain't true. Just like Israel came up with how about we don't be children of fornication. Our father is Abraham. He said, yeah, your natural father is Abraham, but your spiritual father ain't Abraham. That's what he was really telling you, right? He said, if you was truly of Abraham and those things there, both, see, that's exactly right. He said, but you doing the things of your father. And that's Satan. He was alive from the beginning and a murderer too. Whatever we say and do those things, but our actions also go along with it, Bill. And that's how you're tested, by your actions. Please get that. And it hasn't changed. Well, that's a good thing. Because it don't deceive us. It gives us a chance to unrealize and don't get to be here thinking we more than what we is. Right?
Right.
So what's the instruction again? We got to get started reading at that 20th verse again.
It says, Moshe answered the people, don't be afraid, because God has come only to test you and to make you fear him, so that you won't commit sin.
There you go. All sinners, well, we're going to be in heaven. We're going to bypass all that. All sinners is what? Going to have their place.
Like,
It's going to have their place.
In the liquor party.
But they going out to heaven. They going out here. They going to do these. Dear folks, we got to get this thing straight. And this was one of the things, closing for the day, this is one of the things I was reading YouTube there about this one guy and he said that all these evangelicals writing all these books, doing all this stuff and everything there, they want to come out and say they was wrong about Trump. They want to come out and say to everybody, tell them they were wrong about Trump and that they are false prophets.
That's right.
Because they all prophesied and said that Trump was going to win.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't going to lose it. He wasn't going to get kicked out. And he said, as far as I'm concerned, they all got to do it. And boy, he started naming some names. He named some names of some people that I didn't even know about, but they were big people. He said Apollo White and all that stuff there.
And the Copeland,
Yeah,
all white.
he fell out and laughing. Yeah. He's gonna take back all that laughing stuff. But he said, watch, they're gonna bypass all that stuff and that. As if it ain't nothing.
Right.
And people go along with him and all those things there. He said, but as far as he's concerned, that's, no action. You're saying one thing, and I said, I've been telling you that all along. If they can't count to 7, they're in trouble. Let us follow the instruction of God. God gave these things there that we sin not, because God knows what's going to happen if we sin. The wages of sin is what?
Yeah.
Oh no, we say it's life. See? You can't keep sinning. He said, we got grace now. Grace don't mean that you got to continue to sin. You just got to tell that.
Grace just makes sure he's covered.
See?
Grace makes sure your sins are covered.
Grace, actually, grace gives you a second chance. What do you mean by a second chance? What did you mess up to get on the scene in the first place? What did you do? Something that you done. That woman that was caught in adultery, the Messiah gave her a second chance. He extended grace to her. All other folks wanted to kill her. He extended grace to her. He said,
Grace gives you what you don't deserve.
there you go. But it's a second chance. It ain't a complete renewal and say, well, you cover forever and all that. No, he said, go and what?
Sin no more.
Sin no more.
He just hands the shoe from this.
Not all about I got grace.
Yeah, right.
See? I just go do whatever I want to do now because I got grace. No.
Do it right next time. Second chance, do it right.
If you just like my uncle told me that there, and boy, that hit the thing right there just as clear and straight as what I tried to tell folks about it. He said that he hadn't got his sticker, that was the time you had to get those inspection stickers. You had to get that there, and if they catch you about that inspection sticker, you're gonna be in trouble, And so he said that the police caught him, and you can have it. He said, I was intending on doing that there and everything, and I got busy and all that stuff there and everything. But I'm gonna go down and do that there and everything there, and give it everything there. So the police said, okay, I'm gonna write you a special little paper here. And no, it was in case
No, the
you don't get
police.
it done today because he was away from his house. He was away from it. He said, in case somebody else comes stop you again for the day to get that done, but you need to go down there and get that taken care of. Oh, yes, sir, I'm gonna go down there and do that. I'm gonna go down there as quick as I get off my job, and I'm gonna go do that the other day. He said, well, because you're in violation. So he gave him a little piece of paper there, and my uncle said he thought it was, oh man, I gotta get out of jail free. I got it. So instead of him going down that day and getting everything there, he waited around and drove all around, forgot all about it, and sat there. 2 or 3 days later, got stopped again by another police hit and put the paper out. Right. Yes, I got grace. Police said, no, sir.
No grace and no mercy.
No, sir.
It was only for that day.
No, sir. That grace was for that day there for you to do those things there. But you said you told me you could go down and take care of that and all that stuff. And you supposed to be down there and you didn't do that. Therefore you in violation. And here's what I got for you. Wrote no big ticket. You went on down and got it. They got that big ticket. Sometimes that's what we use. Dear folks, in closing for today, what I want you to understand is, Yah has his choice. Yah has his choice. And him we must listen to. Because he's Yah's choice. Faith come by hearing. Do you know the reason why God spoke the 10 Commandments to the children of Israel? What he was doing?
So he can hear it.
See? That's exactly right. Hearing goes down into that spiritual man. See? God spoke. That's how they knew they was in trouble and going to hear his voice no more.
Amen. Amen.
They found out we ain't in line with this. Yeah. So God, when he first dealt with him, he dealt with him on the spiritual level. He spoke the word to him and everything good up. Then he had to deal with him a different way. But God still, he always wants us to understand and go by faith. Had they listened, had they hearkened, he wouldn't have to do other things. Have a housing, have a place for God's commandments. See? That's all he was teaching, and they were scared of that. Let's don't be afraid of God's law, because that's what we're doing. And it's the same law. And he said, this time, I'm going to write it in their hearts. I spoke it to their hearts. See? But I'm going to tell you something, even about that. If you don't allow God, and we'll, in the coming Parashah, we're going to show you that too. If you don't allow God to do that, he ain't going to do it on his own. This is something that people got to understand. You don't do that. We are still a free moral agent, and we have one part to do. Now, faith come by hearing, and our part is to obey. Right? It's to obey. Faith don't mean a thing to us if we don't obey it. Don't mean a thing. Yah told Abraham, Lech Lecha, get you out from among your friends and from around your kinfolk. If you never would have done that, faith would have didn't mean a thing. This closes out our Parashah for this week here. May Yah bless us and keep us on that end there. May we follow through on those things here, that we might understand the dealings that God is doing with us, and see where the enemy comes in to make destruction upon us, that we might be part with those things there, and that things might come out in our faith. So let us continue to follow through on that. So at this time, we'll turn the service over the hands of our Shema to close out the service for today. And oh yeah.